October 1st. Just another day on the calendar? Think again. On this single date in history, a legendary conqueror crushed the world's greatest empire in a battle that should have been impossible. A revolution gave birth to the nation that would reshape global power for the next century. The happiest place on earth opened its gates, but its creator never lived to see it. A football god hung up his boots forever. Technology changed music in your pocket. And one horrifying night in Las Vegas became America's deadliest mass shooting. 7 events, one date. Each one changed the world in ways you never imagined. Stay with me, because what happened on October 1st throughout history will leave you speechless. Let's begin with the most recent tragedy on our list. October 1st, 2017. Las Vegas, Nevada. It was supposed to be a perfect night. The Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. 22,000 people gathered under the stars, enjoying country music, completely unaware that they were about to experience unimaginable horror. At exactly 10:05 p.m., the music stopped, but not because the concert ended. From the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, a 64-year-old man named Stephen Paddock opened fire on the crowd below. For the next 10 minutes, over 1,000 rounds were fired into the panicked masses. When the shooting finally stopped, 58 people were dead. More than 850 were injured. It remains the deadliest mass shooting by a single gunman in modern American history. But here's what still haunts investigators today. Why did he do it? Paddock had no criminal record, no obvious motive, no manifesto. He meticulously planned the attack for months, smuggling 23 firearms into his hotel room, setting up cameras in the hallway to monitor police response. Yet, to this day, authorities have found no clear answer to the question everyone asks. What drove him to commit such evil? The mystery remains unsolved, and that, perhaps, is what makes October 1st, 2017, even more chilling. From darkness, let's turn to magic. October 1st, 1971, Orlando, Florida. The gates of Walt Disney World opened for the first time, welcoming visitors into what would become the most visited vacation resort on the planet. But here's the heartbreaking truth. Walt Disney himself never saw his dream come true. Walt had died 5 years earlier in 1966. He had spent years planning this 27,000-acre wonderland, but his brother Roy Disney made sure Walt's vision became reality, even renaming it Walt Disney World in his honor. On opening day, admission cost just $3.50. Compare that to today's prices, and you'll see how much has changed. But what hasn't changed is the magic. Here's something most people don't know. Walt Disney World was never meant to be just a theme park. Walt's original vision was far more ambitious. He wanted to build an entire city, a utopian community called EPCOT, the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. A place where people would actually live, work, and thrive using cutting-edge technology. That dream never fully materialized as Walt imagined, but elements of it live on in Epcot Center, which opened in 1982. October 1st, 1971, wasn't just the opening of a theme park. It was the day a man's impossible dream proved that magic is real, even if he wasn't there to see it. October 1st, 1949, Beijing, China. Standing atop Tiananmen Gate, a man raised his hand and declared 5 words that would echo across the world. The Chinese people have stood up. His name was Mao Zedong, and with that declaration, the People's Republic of China was born. But let's rewind. Just 4 years earlier, China was devastated. The country had endured decades of civil war, Japanese invasion, and chaos. The Communist Party, led by Mao, had been fighting the nationalist government in a brutal civil war. On October 1st, 1949, the Communists won. The nationalists fled to Taiwan, and Mao's vision of a communist China became reality. Here's what makes this moment so staggering. In one day, nearly a quarter of the world's population came under communist rule. Think about that. 1 in 4 humans on Earth, now living under a completely new government system. But Mao's China was no utopia. His policies would lead to the Great Leap Forward, which caused the deadliest famine in human history, an estimated 30 to 45 million deaths. Later came the Cultural Revolution, which destroyed ancient traditions and persecuted millions. Yet, despite the tragedy, October 1st remains China's National Day, a celebration of sovereignty and independence. Love him or despise him, Mao Zedong's declaration on October 1st, 1949, changed the course of history, and the world has never been the same. Now, let's travel back more than 2,000 years. October 1st, 331 BC, Gaugamela, near modern-day Iraq. Two armies faced each other on a vast plain. On one side, Darius III, king of Persia, commanding over 100,000 soldiers, war chariots, and elephants. The Persian Empire was the largest and most powerful force on earth. On the other side, a 25-year-old Macedonian king named Alexander, with just 47,000 men. The odds were impossible. Darius should have crushed him, but Alexander wasn't just any commander. He was a tactical genius. As the battle began, Darius unleashed his scythe chariots, deadly vehicles designed to tear through infantry lines. But Alexander had anticipated this. His troops opened gaps in their formation, letting the chariots pass harmlessly through. Then came Alexander's masterstroke. He noticed a weakness in the Persian line. He personally led his elite companion cavalry in a wedge formation, driving straight toward Darius himself. Darius panicked. He fled the battlefield, and when the king runs, the army collapses. By the end of the day, the Persian Empire, one of history's greatest civilizations, was finished. Alexander had achieved the impossible. But here's what's truly remarkable. Alexander the Great would go on to conquer territories stretching from Greece to India, creating one of the largest empires the world has ever seen. And it all began with his victory at Gaugamela. October 1st, 331 BC, the day a young king became a legend. October 1st, 1880. Menlo Park, New Jersey. For thousands of years, humanity lived in darkness after sunset. Candles, oil lamps, firelight. That was all we had. But on this day, Thomas Edison opened the world's first commercial light bulb manufacturing factory. And with it, he didn't just create a product, he illuminated the future. Edison's incandescent bulb wasn't the first electric light ever invented, but it was the first practical one. Earlier versions burned out in minutes. Edison's bulb could last over 1,200 hours. Now, here's the part most people don't know. Edison didn't just invent the light bulb. He invented the entire electrical system to power it. He created the power stations, the wiring, the sockets, everything needed to bring electricity into homes and businesses. By opening this factory on October 1st, Edison was making a bold statement. Electric light is no longer an experiment, it's the future. Within a few decades, gas lamps disappeared. Streets that had been dangerous and dark became safe and bright. Factories could operate 24 hours a day. People could read, work, and live after sunset in ways never before possible. And it all started with a single factory on October 1st, 1880. Thomas Edison didn't just light a bulb, he lit the world. October 1st, 1977. East Rutherford, New Jersey. The greatest footballer the world had ever seen stepped onto the field for the last time. His name, Edson Arantes do Nascimento. But the world knew him simply as Pelé. Over 75,000 fans packed Giant Stadium to witness history. Pelé would play one half for his current team, the New York Cosmos, and the other half for his legendary former club, Santos of Brazil. It was a farewell fit for a king. Pelé's career was nothing short of miraculous. 3 World Cup victories with Brazil, 1958, 1962, and 1970. Over 1,200 goals scored in his professional career. He became a global icon, transcending sports. But here's what made Pelé truly special. He wasn't just a player, he was a symbol of hope. Born in poverty in Brazil, he rose to become one of the most recognizable figures on the planet. He showed the world that greatness has no boundaries. As the final whistle blew on October 1st, Pelé jogged around the field, waving to the fans, tears streaming down his face. And then, he spoke into the microphone. Love is more important than what we can take in life. Football lost its king that day. But his legacy lives on in every child who dreams of playing the beautiful game. October 1st, 1977. The day Pelé said goodbye. But legends never truly leave. October 1st, 1982. Tokyo, Japan. Sony released the CD-P101, the world's first commercially available compact disc player. And with it, the way humanity listened to music changed forever. For decades, music lovers had relied on vinyl records and cassette tapes. Records scratched easily, tapes wore out and tangled, sound quality degraded over time. But the compact disc? Crystal clear digital audio, no wear and tear, skip-proof. It was revolutionary. Here's the fascinating part. The CD itself had been in development for years, a collaboration between Sony and Philips. They agreed on a size, 120 millimeters in diameter, specifically so it could hold 74 minutes of audio. Why 74 minutes? Because that was the length of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Even in the digital age, art drove innovation. When the CD-P101 hit the market on October 1st, 1982, it cost around $900 in today's money. The CDs themselves were expensive too, but audiophiles didn't care. They wanted perfection. Within a decade, CDs dominated the music industry. Vinyl records nearly disappeared. Cassette tapes became obsolete. And then, just as quickly, the CD itself was overtaken by MP3s, streaming, and the digital revolution. But for one glorious moment, the compact disc was the future. And it all began on October 1st, 1982. And there you have it. 7 incredible stories. One unforgettable date. From ancient battlefields to modern tragedies. From magical kingdoms to revolutionary technology. October 1st has witnessed some of humanity's greatest triumphs and darkest moments. But here's the thing. History isn't just something that happened in the past. It's happening right now. Every single day, events unfold that will one day be remembered as pivotal moments. So, what will your October 1st be remembered for? If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to subscribe to Today's History Official and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. We upload new historical deep dives every week. And here's a question for you. Which of these 7 events surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Also, if you want to explore more fascinating events from history, check out our playlist in the description. We've covered everything from ancient civilizations to modern mysteries. Thank you for watching. Until next time, remember, history isn't just dates and names. It's the story of us.